Hi, welcome to learnhowtogarden.com. On today's episode in the 10-Minute Gardener, we're going to be talking about those presents, those tools you would love to open on Christmas morning. If you're not already subscribed to us at Learn How to Garden, there's a link directly below this film. Click on that, input your email address, and every single time we put up a new film, you'll find out, and you also get access to our free monthly newsletter. This is my concession to Christmas set dressing. I said in my previous film, I hate Christmas morning as a gardener. You get all the sort of things you don't want. So this is the second of my films, and this one's purely about tools, and they're all Sneeboer tools. I make no apologies whatsoever. As a manufacturer, they are totally bespoke. They make the best tools in the world, in my opinion, and they have a great range of tools. And what I wanted to go through today are probably the half a dozen tools that if I was going to get anything, they would be the ones that I would love to open. I thought I'd start with what I consider the most important tool you have in your garden, and that's a hoe. This hoe is really special. It's the Royal Dutch hoe. It was in the actual competition for Product of the Year at Chelsea 2013. I personally believe it should have won it. It's a real gardener's product, this. And it's the detail that I love. It's the highest quality stainless steel. All Sneeboer tools are made by hand, which I love, and you can tell the engineering integrity in them because they're made to work. The first thing you have is the wonderful V teeth across the front, which pulls the weeds into this V and cuts them off. And then behind it, as you move the hoe backwards and forwards, that's the actual pushing backwards and forwards, that cuts any weeds off that you may have missed as you go forward. It's got a beautifully light handle and a fantastic grip. Easy to use, effortless, you can use it all day. The next one is in the same family. This is a Royal Dutch hand hoe. And you'd use this if, like me, you grow in raised beds, you use no-dig beds, much smaller head so that you can get your plants with a much closer spacing. Fantastic in a border, even good for weeding pots. You'll notice this actually has my name on it, and that's because I did have a small hand in helping to design this, so it's very, very close to my own heart. Royal Dutch hand hoe, well, we believe that's the name. I'm not even sure if it's on the website yet, but it is brilliant. The actual angle means you can use it all day, and this was actually the prototype. And again, if you are a keen vegetable grower, remember, weeds are your biggest enemy. You've got to get those weeds out. So that's the Royal Dutch hand hoe. Next, but certainly not least, probably the oddest looking of the tools. This is called a rotter. Again, it's a weeder, and it's so light you can just keep it on you all the time. You can use the very sharp point for loosening the air in your garden. You can actually push it in and it'll pull out long weeds. It's one of those tools that is so simple and so easy, you wonder why you can't get one. These aren't the sort of things that you're going to come across in the high street. They're all designed to do quite specific jobs, and if you've got a keen gardener in the family, it's the sort of things that you love when you see them. So that's the rotter. It really means hard worker. If you want to see a whole film on this, there is one on the Sneeboer website with me using it. Once you've done your weeding, we'll come to planting, and there are three of the trowels here that I really love. There's the heart-shaped trowel. Now, let's be honest, more of these probably are sold on the February the 14th than any other day, but it's very clever in its actual shape again. Very sharp here, so it can be used for weeding. It'll break up the ground. This point is fantastic for making drills, for sowing seeds, and broad enough that you can actually plant things with it. Great for planting bulbs and digging in the garden. And when you come to dig in the kind of planting bulbs, this is an old Dutch style. Now, this was developed over hundreds of years in the bulb fields where they'd got to plant hundreds and thousands of bulbs in a day. I use this all the time in my vegetable patch. I grow a lot of things in root trainers. I grow a lot of things in pots before I plant them out, and it's brilliant. You just hold it, it goes in, pulls back, in go your seedlings, in go your sweet peas, anything. It's big enough to make planting lots of things, if you're a keen vegetable gardener, really, really effortless. And while we're talking about planting, this intriguingly designed little tool, whether in right or left-handed, is a potting trowel. And you hold it like so, and you use it in your potting shed for potting on. You scoop up the compost and in it goes, straight into your pot. You use less compost, it's much quicker because the compost doesn't shoot out this side, and that's a right or left-handed potting trowel. So all you need to know for that is whether your other half is right or left-handed. We now come on to some of the bigger tools in the garden, the real workhorses. And we all need a fork. But do we need a big fork or a slightly smaller fork? The one on the right, or your left, is referred to as a lady's fork, but I tend to think of it more as an urban fork, an elegant fork. It's just slightly lighter. The head is shorter, but it's the same thick, heavy-duty steel that will go on forever. And they come with different length handles, but for instance, if you wanted the large head with a shorter handle, Sneeboer can do that for you. That's what bespoke is all about. If you want to have your name put on, Sneeboer would put your name on to make this trowel, for instance, incredibly special, or this fork really special. As well as forks, we need spades. This is the one I use. When you look at the website at Sneeboer, sometimes the names can throw you a bit. This is called a stone spade, and it is great for moving stones around. It's very, very thick. It's the highest grade stainless steel, but I use this for all of my digging. So forget it says a stone spade. What you want are the details. The teeth here mean it cuts through even the hardest ground. If I'm moving a tree, or if I want to move herbaceous perennials, great for going round because it will slice through the roots really easily. And what I love about it is this detail. This saves you money. This tiny little step that's welded onto the top of the blade means that it doesn't cut into the bottom of your wellies, it doesn't cut into the bottom of your work boots. That step will save you countless pairs of work shoes, but it also means that more pressure is applied to the spade, so it effortlessly slides into the ground. And it's these details that make these tools so special. That and the fact that they're made so well that they really are heritage tools. These are the sort of things that your grandkids are going to be able to use because they will look the same. The sort of ash or cherry handles will just get smoother with age. While we're talking about ones that have unusual names, this is one of the most used tools that I have when I'm working either in my garden or in other people's. It's called a rock spade, and that's because it was designed or has been used a lot to work in rockeries. It has a very thin, fine head, still has the little steps so you can get a lot of pressure on it, so it will cut through really compacted ground. Where I use it is in mature herbaceous borders where they're very densely planted and you haven't got a lot of space to work. And the size of the head means that you're not trying to take great clumps out, but also because it is a large tool, because it has these stepped feet, and because it is heavy duty, it will cut through those dense, compact roots much, much easier than a hand tool would. So you're using your body weight to work rather than trying to use your hand. Originally designed for breaking up sugar beet in the Dutch farming industry, again referred to as a rock spade. I tend to think of it more of, heavy duty herbaceous sort of spade. Don't let the name throw you from the job that these tools will do. And what I've chosen are some of the ones that look quirkier. You're not going to see them in your average high street. When someone opens them, they look like you've taken a lot of care to choose something really special and really unique for them. They are just the best tools. If you want someone to remember you for the next 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, if you want your grandkids to say, where did that come from and why? Buy one of these for Christmas. If you're considering a gardening tool at all, these are the ones you want to buy. You can get them off my website. I recommend these. I sell these because they're quite simply just the best tools you can get. There are films on the Sneeboer website which are longer about all the unique features of each of these tools, because each one I could quite happily wax lyrical, as I'm sure you know if you listen to my films, for 5-10 minutes. They're made with love, they're shaped with love. You can even get one that's a love heart. Cheesy but true. Thanks a lot for watching Learn How to Garden.